I will stare right at the camera. Hello and welcome everybody. I am aaron2u2 and I will be showcasing Splintered. I don't know which way the camera is, but I'll be showcasing some Splintered. It's a fun game. It is kind of based on the Dragon Quest like NES series. It also might be the newest game ever to be in a Retrothon, as I believe it was released after the sign-up was done, which was pretty fun. But they were looking for some replacements, and I volunteered, and so here we go. Again, it says early access. The game is not done. So I'm going to show off, and I can just kind of show you. There is, we're still waiting on Chapter 3. The dev, Richard Mertland, excuse me, is he's a solo dev for the game. So you're not going to like, the updates are going to be a little bit slow in coming, but that does also mean that everything's going to be like fully in line. Double check. Okay. So there are some flags. I'm going to be actually just doing the randomizer. This is an element of the game that's pretty unique inside of Chapter 2, and I'm not going to try to spoil too much of the game, the base game itself, and just kind of talk about what I'm doing. But I'm using these flags. I can go into what a little bit of this means, but it does mean that the gold chests are a little bit tamped down from the normal game. And there's a few fancy things. I'm starting myself with a weapon because that will help to make the game much more likely to not be a gigantic struggle at the beginning, because I want to, try to keep the time within what we're trying to do here. So we'll go ahead and start. There's not a whole lot of customization of appearance. Let's, what do we want to call ourselves? I'm going to say Retro... Then there's 8 characters, so sorry, we're missing one of the zeros or O's. And you can pick your stat build. I think whatever you pick gets something around a 10% bonus to it over the course of the game. So I've seen someone in chat talk about the mage build. I'm going to be playing it a little bit safer. Part of this is because I'm not as familiar with the mage build, so but when we talk about builds, it's really just the gear that you get. The stats help, but the gear is the most important thing. So we're going to go with the strength dex build, and timing starts now. So I will skip through a lot of the dialogue, and whoops. We're going to talk to our sister here. She gives us a free item. So we got the Divine Blade. Checking the remaining chests up here. We have a Ward Potion, a Magic Key, and some gold. So we're going to equip the Divine Blade. It's kind of a tank weapon, but I think you always equip everything you can get at the beginning of the game. Can I kill this guy? I can. Alright, we killed a rock root. That enemy is pretty good for the early game, and one of the elements of this randomizer is that the overworld is randomized. So we already got to level 2, and we got a bunch of strength. We started out with a bunch, and we got a bunch. So since we started out with some money, I gotta check these towns. A little secret spot here, we got an item called the Protection Potion, which will now keep us from getting damaged by poison and other damage terrain. It's very nice. We can see what kind of gear we want. If we want to settle with a more tank build. Looking at the gear here, though, there's something I can do that I think I want to do that instead. I don't know. We'll sit on it for a minute. Instead, I'm going to buy some torches. Alright. And torches are kind of a cheeky thing that if you haven't played one of like the remakes of the Dragon Warrior games, you might not realize. But there's some fun stuff you can do. Okay, so we have Edelin, another town. This is kind of your basic town. There's not a whole lot to do here. Again, kind of looking at what sort of gear we have. All of the gear has these abilities. that you can level up the gear for, so it can be pretty cool to do that. I'm gonna run down. Oh, whoops. There's an invisible guy down here. And you can actually get an item that lets you see him later, but anyway, the main story of this game is that we need to collect a number of items to be able to go after the main bad guy's castle. Those items can be in chests, or there's a few special locations. Like here, there are bosses that could have the item. I don't want to mess around here, though, so we're going to just try to chill a little bit and gain some levels. In fact, that rock root we fought earlier is really good. But that hunter we talked to allows us to see the enemy zones, so we know who's in what. This also can be useful later if one of the things we can that happens in the game. There's a guy who gives us coordinates for the overworld again. It's something that you would see in Dragon Warrior itself or in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. There we go, another level. A lot of hit points. Where you can get the, where there's just something in the overworld to find. So, this is a great enemy to fight early on. They're high defense, but we have a lot more strength than we need to for this, so they're just going down real easy. There's another thing that is really good about killing a bunch of different enemies, which I will show you when it happens, but essentially your bestiary, when you clear certain elements of it... Oh, look, there's a cave. Did I... Okay, I didn't even check to see if I had a starting spell. That could have been bad, because you could have saved the starting key if we did, but whatever. Alright, I think I need to go in that upper zone. I think that's where most of those guys were. Well, we got the silence spell and the greater heal spell. What was the gear here again? Ideally, if I can get all of the gear that I want for the entire game right away, that would be great. I tend to play very cheap, and I think that's what we're going to do. So, I'm going to end up playing a bit of a thief build, which means I'm going to be relying on a lot of critical hits and things like that. So I need to unequip my weapon, and I'm going to sell it, because it sells for a lot. Let's see. So we want the Thief's Cowl, and we'll go with the dagger. And I'm going to buy this. This is a good enemy. It's not quite a thief build, but I'm hitting buttons. I don't mean to hit. So the gear we put on, this Thieves' Cowl, increases dexterity. And then once I get 800 total experience with it equipped, it'll give me a 10% increased chance to evade. The buckler, dexterity bonus, and then after I level it up, I can evade. If I evade attack, I'll get bonus damage. The dagger here is about the same strength as that divine blade, but it gains a lot of bonuses. The weapons are the most unique ones. So this gives us a dexterity bonus to our accuracy. There are some enemies that do like to evade. When we level this up, first attack has an increased crit chance. That's really nice. This every third turn our attack automatically crits. That can be pretty tricky. Like, you might actually see me heal in a round when I don't need to heal, just to make sure I can attack in the next round on some enemies to get that crit. And then Master Stroke. Your attacks can critically strike legendary opponents. That one is necessary if you're going to use it at the end of the game. So the armor we got is a healing booster. Your healing is increased. That's nice. Your healing spells infuse your next attack with magic damage. That basically means if you heal the next time you attack, you also do bonus damage based on how much you heal. and the magic defense of the enemy. And then this one is the big thing about this. This lets you overheal 20% of your max hit points. This is very important on the final boss, and it can let you go a few levels early. The stuff that I have is more or less what you will see the speedrun do. Although I believe that the current world record holder for the Chapter 1 speedrun is Dawn Venur, who I've seen in chat. There we go. Also, I should probably rest in the inn and get my stats back. But I want to see what's in this cave. Yeah, so we might be solid on gear the rest of the game. There is like an 1100 gold armor in this place that's even better for this sort of like high crit thief build, but I might not bother with it because again I'm not really counting on a lot of money in this. Oh look, there's 2 caves. Alright, so Wormborn Pass is a pathway to possibly another continent or somewhere across the world. I'll go through that later. There's some items in it. Okay, so I'm going to use the torch here just so you guys can see what's going on, but I would normally do this in the dark. This is our beginner cave, and it has a free key. It has 2 free keys and a torch. Wonderful. So we're a little bit overpowered for some of these basic enemies. Our dagger just upgraded, so we gain that open strike ability. There is something in here I went to check otherwise. Those are the only 3 chests in the cave. There's like 4 caves. I can't keep track of. Okay, well, we got Magic Blast. So Magic Blast is the highest damage spell in the game. Even without a magic build, it does a ton of damage. Oh, and it failed. And I'm dead. Excuse me, this game is on Steam. I believe it's actually $5 to purchase. So if you really want to, you can find it on there. So I got those 2 keys. I'm going to open up here. We found the Munithrian Compass. We'll use that a little bit later. Blazing Torch. Dragon's Crest is a key item and some gold. So we're going to run through the town. There is a little bit of a secret here. It's not really a secret because the game tells you about it. I'm gonna buy keys since I got that free gold. And if I could walk on water. Oh, we're done. So this guy gives you coordinates 28 and 23, and you would need a compass to make any sense of that. Well, I already got the compass. So. There's a way you can do this measurement without having to have the compass, but there's no reason for me to do that because we already got it. So at some point, I'm going to go north 64 and east 26 to find that. There's a whole lot of poison up here. I forgot that I already got the anti-poison item. So look at me just walking right over all this stuff. No problem. Oh no! It's an Elder Dragon, the probably worst enemy in the game. Instantly killed me. You know, I should have went in there and got some more stuff. So let's go through the swampy area here. Since I have some torches, or I have some keys, there is a thing I can do here. Alright, we nuke the knight. The heavy knight is probably a little bit beyond my ability, except I have the most damaging spell in the game. We get our open crit. We still don't kill this guy. These little scorpion looking dudes, the little gem-capped saboteurs, they can silence you when they attack. So this black spot here is a spike tile. They used to be invisible, now they're not. So you can actually see right where they are. In fact, there was an update to this game just a couple of days ago, which has changed what I was going to do here a little bit. So we got the lower heal spell and sleep. So these spells, silence is probably the most important one. We're just gonna run from this guy. The elite, or excuse me, the swift knights have a good deal of magic resistance. These heavy knights have none. They just get completely roasted by the magic stuff, so... My gear is gaining levels, that's good. Becomes more... Oh no! Is this guy here too? Alright, we're probably not going to be grinding on that spike tile. This is the randomizer. This is what happens. So I'm going to grab some money here. What else was here? That's empty. Another torch. Empty. Okay. It used to be in one of the earlier patches that you could just do this and the chest would respawn. And you could do like some hardcore gold grinding. Oh, and here is the guy that appears when you go through that swamp entrance. And we are not doing much damage to him. This could be a problem. And there's our smite attack, the extra 12. Did 18 damage with a hit. I don't think we're gonna win this. So we might have to just be real careful in the desert areas. But we might... Oh, never mind. We beat him. And this guy gives a ton of stuff. He's one of the bosses in the game. Although he's just about the weakest one. So we gained the Moonlight spell. Which, you know what? I think we're good enough. Let's see if we can go into, the town just to the northeast of here. I didn't really talk about it. It's called Haeldrich. It is a dead town. Yes, when you go through, excuse me, when you go through Wormborn Pass, once you open that door, you unlock that whole area, and that guy will randomly attack you when you're on desert tiles. Oh, I didn't instantly die, but that guy could have instantly killed me too. We'll use a healing item. So this guy has gold. In Haeldrich, you have your two uncles. I think I want to fight... Oh shoot, I don't think I can fight this guy with this few... Oh no, no, I can't. We're gonna silence him. This is Great Lord Halifax. Since he's our uncle, I like to call him Uncle Canada. Oh no, he hits me too hard. I'm not gonna be able to kill him. Yeah, we're just gonna run. So... Did I? No. I might be able to kill the guy on the left here, but I think they just hit too hard for the amount of stats I have right now. Fortified Rock Root is a really good enemy to see. Again, they tend to be high defense, but when you can crit, but they're also low hit points, so this could be a great area to grind in. Did I? What did I gain? Okay. Let's hear it. I'm gonna run. Let's see about this one. Oh, they're the same. There, I could probably kill that guy, but it might be a little bit too strong for me. I really would just like to fight those. I think I can kill this guy. Young dragons are actually kind of a low, like a mid-game enemy, but a little bit on the low side. And I'm just critting non-stop. It's wonderful. Alright, we learned the ward spell. We gained a whole bunch of MP. That should do. I'm gonna go heal again, and I'm gonna try to beat up one of the uncles. They give a bunch of experience. In the storyline, in the actual game, they have more importance. You don't have to kill them here, but they will show up later if you don't, so you might as well. It kind of reminds me a little bit of an element of Sword of Vermilion, where you have these two guys who are vying for like to marry the princess or something, and they wind up both being evil. Mm-hmm. Yes, these are just crit strats, more or less. There, I gotcha. All right. Silence. This might not work. This guy likes to not be silenced. But he has a full heal. There we go. Six. 14. Crit. Nice 34. And I did 0 damage to him. Alright, this should be a good hit. Okay, it wasn't that good. Ugh. Oh, I don't have... I just realized something. Let me try... There we did. We threw a torch at him. Although that was my crit round. I probably should have just, attacked. Crit! Okay, now he's in his healing rotation. And we got him. So he gives a bunch of experience too. We're up to level 9. We almost have every spell in the game. And we unlock the overheal thing, which is pretty important. So you can only kill one of these guys. The fact that we killed the guy on the left means that the Void Stone... And we're dead. Because that guy got a hold of us. The Void Stone is a non-required key item. But it makes that exact guy who just killed us weaker. How many keys do I have left? Oh, we're fine. Overheal is, yeah, it's pretty good. I think I'm gonna pop back in there to get our gold back, and then we're just gonna push forward. But a lot of these enemies are pretty weak now for what we're doing. And what I mean, when you die, you leave a gold chest behind, which is, you lose half of your gold, and the chest that you leave behind is half of that. Although, I think the next time you die, the previous chest disappears. So we got 500 gold back. We don't really need gold for items, but there are some other things that we're going to use it for. So let me see. Okay, yeah, we don't know for sure that that's blocked. We just know that there's that dragon in these zones who we do not want to see. Now, okay, I talked before about there being like bestiary bonuses. This is the first one we got. Since we killed, if you killed the certain number of enemies, you unlock these abilities. I know what these all are. And since we killed every type of rock root, we gain an ability that reduces the amount of damage we take by 2 from every attack. It's pretty worthwhile, but you can only equip 2 of those abilities at a time. For now. That can actually change. And you can make it go up to 6. And hey, look, we just gained another one. Shop prices are reduced by 10%. This one is useful, very specific situations. Yeah. Alright, so I want to... hey, we got out. Ooh, shadows. These are one of my favorite enemies to fight in the game. Although I think I'm going to have to heal. They tend to be dodgy, so if you're a build like this where your dexterity is boosting your accuracy, they tend to not be something you have to worry about too much. But I didn't forget about this. North 6, East 11. Oh, we got another one. They also are attached to one of the talents that increases your magic points by 10%. And that one is usually pretty good to at least have equipped when you start the endgame sequence. You can always... these guys are good too. They, by default, have sleep. Some of the enemies' abilities are randomized, but it's a very light randomization. You'll occasionally see somebody with, like, the intense dragon breath that will instantly kill you. But these guys, by default, start out with sleep, so... And I lost track of where I was. North 5, East 4. And it was gold. So we did all of that for a little bit of gold. Let me make sure there isn't anything. Oh, here we go. 2 stairways. This Forgotten Shrine we're going to need to go to at the end of the game. So we got to put a little bit of a pin in there, but all of the key items you need to unlock the end game, you have to take them there. Okay, so this guy, the Northridge Cave, wants you to get the Dragon's Crest. And when you do, he attacks you and puts you to sleep. So first thing we want to do is silence him. And as retribution, blow him up. We don't really need to use that. He's not, he is a boss, but he's not one of the more difficult bosses. He'll throw torches at you every once in a while. Which in a way I think kind of teaches you that, hey, you can throw torches at things. And he had Ludriel's armor. Ludriel is our father. Yeah, this armor starts out maxed out. And they are really good items to get early in the game, and some of them are useful later on, depending on what type of build you are. But I'm not going to worry about it because the Hauberk's going to be more useful for me. And these guys are the devil. Thank you for the good luck. And pretty much, I know a lot of people have been saying good luck. I've been sort of paying attention to the chat, so I apologize if I missed a lot of you, but appreciate it nonetheless. So we're killing a lot of enemies that maybe we could do without. I'm going to take off this favored ability and put on Prosperous, which increases our gold that we get. This could be a really bad idea. It is a really, really bad idea. He has the bad breath too, the instant death stuff. So, but we got a pretty good amount of money. There are 2 big uses for the money yet. There are 2 specific towns that we haven't seen, and this is not one of them. Minthria is a fun town where you can't do anything in here. In fact, if I wander around, you get attacked. And all of the guards will yell at you. We have to do something to unlock that town. Alright. We don't really need to kill this guy too, but it does unlock a talent with him and the regular dragon. The golden talent, which reduces the amount of gold you lose when you die. I don't really care about that one. Alright, so we found Sarandal. We could check the shops, but we don't need to. There is a secret back here. It's not very secret. But there's a trainer here. For 1,000 gold, he will increase my experience gain by 20%. This is a flag that you could turn on. The normal way it works in the vanilla game is different, where he will just give you experience for gold. I like this more because I feel like if you're doing that in the rando, you wind up spending a lot of your time just gathering up gold, and it's a little silly. So, now we found Geshramir. Geshramir has 3 chests locked behind a door. It also has the mine underneath it, which has 5 chests. But this is the guy I'm mostly interested in. We're going to buy... We can upgrade our gear here. So we're spending 1,000 gold to give this buckler +5 defense. I mean, I've done that. Alright, we got Ludriel's sword, which is the other key item. This one levels up with your level. Especially, I think, in the base game. And if you're doing something where you think you're going to over-level, this winds up being pretty useful. It's also good for just walking around because you regain hit points for winning battles. But I'm not going to need that. So we have entered the mines underneath Geshramir. There is... Oh, and we just fully upgraded the dagger. So now, once I get 1,000 gold again, I can just go to that guy, and the dagger can be upgraded too. Which I'm definitely going to want to do, because the dagger has very little attack power. But I'm kind of... I know exactly where to go in this, so I'm just going to go do that. Yeah, it's very satisfying. Especially the noise, just like the ripping sound. I really like it. So we found one of the key items right there, the Ademus, or the Adema Splinter. It is one of the required key items in the game. Which I mean, we'll see what happens with that in a little bit. Yeah, there are not that many different items in the game, and I didn't come in knowing what build I was going to do, but I was probably going to do something like, since I picked Strength and Dexterity as my bonuses. Hey look, there's a guy just chilling over there. Yeah, it's the weapon that I have been using in the speedrun of the first chapter, although I think, oh, we gained a new talent. This is an important one too. 10% increase in experience is more important than gold now. So now we have a total 30% increase in experience. But I believe Don Vanor uses a different weapon that also kind of benefits crit strats, but has a higher base attack. So this is the Evil Necromancer, and every enemy that I killed on the way in here damages him by 20. So he survived all that, only to get killed in one hit. He's not somebody you want to goof around with, because he has that high magic damage spell, the Magic Blast. He has that. And he can also silence you, but... Alright. So, yeah, he didn't have anything useful there. I'll go into a little bit of detail about what this enhanced teleport does later. But it's a flag in the randomizer. It's actually something I noticed in one of the developers' videos and said something about. This guy is a bit of a pain. Oh, he has sleep. Oh, I did 1 damage. Oh my gosh. What's that, damn it? Oh gosh. Do it again. Nuke. Get rid of this guy. I forgot to go back into the town and beef up my weapon, so I don't want to keep fighting these guys. He's scary. Now, I mean, if I would have actually healed, maybe he wouldn't be scary, but or silenced him. No, I don't like those guys either. There are certain enemies that are better with certain builds, and the constructs don't work super well with crit builds because they hit super hard, and I don't have a ton of defense. Well, he is, he might be here, so... I could have probably just fought that guy, but... I know he has no magic defense, so it's more rewarding, I think, to do that. Alright, Dragon Ridge Cave is the last cave that we haven't seen. Gold. We can pop in here and see what's on this spot. The Elite Heavy Knight. I actually want to kill this guy. Nuke. There we go. skeleton boss fight. Be interesting. So this isn't a bad grind, but I don't think we really need to grind. We did unlock the tempered ability though. I will be putting that on later, but the experience is a little, and the damage reduction is a little bit more important right now. And we gained another level. Where are our stats at? Our attack power is still a bit low. Dragon's Horn, that's another required item. So we're missing one required item at this point before we can actually just go beat the game. I also don't know where the final castle is yet, but Rose Pendant is that's the thing that lets you see invisible enemies. Port Leaf. These, I probably should be using the ward ability to get rid of these guys. I'm going to use the Port Leaf. Teleport out. It works the same as the enhanced, or the regular teleport spell. Let me see something real quick. So, one of the things we did is unlock the ability, there he is, to see invisible enemies, and there is an invisible guy. So I'm going to use the enhanced teleport spell to teleport to Ninevos, which was right next to start. This is something that is not available normally in the base game, but is a flag that you can turn on to allow the spell to transport you to any area you've been before. And now, I'm gonna try to go kill that guy. Actually, you know what, I should... This is actually more important. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna run. Even though that guy, if I killed him, would give me a really, really, really good talent. Oh crap. Those guys are... There's a lot of endgame enemies that are very difficult to beat. At what are not endgame levels. So, this is the invisible guy. He ambushed me, great. He did 46 damage. And I did 2 damage. Let's see how the crit works. I can't even use my crit. There we go. I crit for 4. But there we go. We got the smite damage to hit. That's really, really nice. But you have to actually hit him to get smite to work. And I did not. Yeah, we'll use this again. Okay, we got through him. He is very difficult. He's also one of the boss characters. What defeating him lets me do is unlock Minthria, because he is basically got the town locked down, and so everybody in the town thinks that you're like bad, I guess, until you kill him. And I do like this guy looks exactly like the elite Swift Knight that I killed before. So if I didn't already have my endgame gear, I could go do some stuff. This guy gives you 2,000 gold and basically tells you to steal from his treasury here. And there is the Sunstone. That is the last item that I needed. The last one we were missing. So I'm gonna walk out. We're just gonna go back down here. Have I killed one of these guys yet? These Swift Knights are actually very good to kill too, to make sure you get one in before the end of the game, because they give you a dexterity bonus. That's their talent thing. Didn't really want to fight those guys because of that magic blast thing that they have. Okay, I gotta go up. There, I'm tired of fighting these guys. That was the wrong one. Here we go. So we blow the horn. And then we give him the Splinter and the Sunstone, which gives us now Aidma's Blessing, which we need to unlock the final area. Again, if you are familiar with Dragon Quest, this end sequence is going to look pretty familiar. Okay, so we have a little bit of space over here we didn't see, but I might have to go through the Wormborn Pass. We're missing two things. I don't know where the actual end of the game is yet. And excuse me. And we're missing one area where a guy will give us unlock some talent caps for us, which would be really nice. Alright, do we have enough stats to beat the game? Strength is a little bit low. Wait, is this the dead end? Okay. Never mind. Nothing here. Nothing to see. Oh, he blocked it. There we go. Oh, all right. This is the dead end, right? Okay. Back here. I did get that talent, right? Yeah. The 10% dexterity. This is one of the things I needed. Secret Sage. If you come in here at level 10, and you have at least one piece of Ludriel's gear, he will give you 2 talent slots, which is really nice. So, I'm just gonna look for the end of the game and see if I can get one more level along the way. And then I'll probably warp out, heal, and go back in and try to beat it. There is one very important talent that I don't have that helps a lot with the end game. Oh, I'm really happy to see this guy, actually. There's another talent. I think this one is... Oh, he gave me 2 talents. All damage I do is increased by 2, and 10% increased MP. I will want to have both of those on. Oh, here it is. Alright, now I know how to get to the end game. We're going to do this. And just walk into the final area. What I had said before about there being uncles, the uncles that you have to beat. If you don't beat them in the desert area, they come here. And the reason why I didn't fight this guy before is he is unique, that he has an instant kill ability that will proc at a very specific hit point range. I'm not going to tell you what that range is because I think it's more fun to not do it. But I made sure that didn't happen there. So, and once you've killed every boss character in the game, you also gain 2 slots here. But well, you know what? Let's peek around a little bit in here. Oh gosh, I hate these guys. It's a dragon. Well, it doesn't dress itself up as being exactly that, but you figure it out after dying a few times. Oh man, he's got sleep. We're drinking a yoo-hoo. This is a good enough grind. Even if he's got sleep, I'm just gonna plow through it. I don't know if you can see very easily, but I am wearing a Hawaiian shirt as well. A new one I purchased. It might actually be screwing with the camera a little bit. One of the things that was added in the last patch is that the this enemy I'm fighting, this like spike tile, these were added in and they are fixed even in the randomizer. Because there is a talent you can get if you kill all 3 of the endgame dragon enemies. And you've seen them all. This dragon is actually the weakest of all of them, and it's the last one I saw. 7 strength, 20 dex. I think we're okay now. Do I have the right talents on? Yeah. I mean, we don't need that anymore. But I don't really have anything else to equip, so... You know what? Let's do this again. The ward spell prevents you from getting a certain number of bites. I think I'm not exactly sure how it operates, but dang it, I went the wrong direction. I could have just walked around the other way, but I'm using the baby torch because who knows, I might want to use one of the blazing torches. Now there is one thing I wish I had for this end sequence that I don't. The gear have different bonuses, and so some of them work better with different builds. But one thing that's very important, excuse me, for every build is the ability to run from enemies at the end of the game. And there is an armor that allows you to do that. That gives you a bonus to running, and it also reduces enemy ambushes. So this final area is a bit of a maze. I'm going to go straight to the end. I will also mention I have a fail-safe planned in case things go horrible here. These items are also always the same too. I don't need gold, but I just went ahead and grabbed it. But I will tell you that intense breath that you've seen, pretend like you didn't notice what happened there. Oh look! I haven't seen these guys the entire time. A golden dragon duckling. They're very dodgy. They're very hard to hit, but they die to torches. And you can find them early. 207 gold is great. So yeah, that damage I took right there, that really sucks. There is a talent I could get that reduces the damage from the intense breath. And I'm just not gonna get it. Because it's a lot of effort. The end game enemies in this game are actually very, very brutal, and they are hard to take down unless you really over level. They also unlock a number of really good talents. Right, yeah, there's some other ways you can do it too. So we got everything we want on. Talents are right. There's some stuff to this that you don't see because I've been ignoring. What? I was not expecting that much damage. This is the final boss. I was not expecting the crit for 52 damage. But basically her breath is doing 60 some damage. 46 and 7. Nice. It would be doing less damage if I had that one talent. But I felt like I could get without it. In fact, the Blessed Hauberk armor is what helps to makes this possible. I did 2 damage with my attack. I'm also evading her attacks. Yeah, I completely annihilated her. Oh my gosh. So, and then time is randomizer cleared. That's it. So that is one just kind of semi-casual playthrough of Splintered. I did push a little bit. Yeah, it's 20% beyond the max. So it's what you know, those of us who've been speedrunning it, Quinn Patrick, Don Veneur, I think Crumps Brothers done some runs. There's some other people who have Zatrex along with myself have kind of just seen that's worked out really well. So and again, to kind of show off the different options inside of the randomizer here, the standard preset is it's a little bit different than what I did. You could also do the chapter 2 preset, which is what you will see actually playing through chapter 2. But I changed a few things. You can make gold a bunch of different values. You can decide whether chests respawn or not. I think one idea for a flag was to have this at 1,000 and this off, so the chests are really worth it, but you can never, you know, go back in and get them again. I didn't show this in the run, but the default value for the experience trainer, the guy who gave me plus 20% experience, is that you spend 500 gold and just gain 250 experience. Works out okay, but I decided I didn't really want to do that. So in the run, because if we're doing a race, sometimes it can come down to where we're just trying to grab as many gold chests as possible to level and not fight things. I didn't think that'd be a very good showcase here. What I was using was the enhanced teleport style. This is something that was just added a couple of days ago, and that's what let me teleport to different towns and caves and stuff that I've been to. The Sister's Gift here, normally she just gives you one random item that you can equip, but I made it a weapon to make it more likely that I wouldn't be stuck in a really tight position at the beginning. And then I just set this to 10 because you can often win the game by 14, and making all the spells appear by level 10 just makes it more likely, again, that it won't be a very long seed. I wanted to make sure we had something that would fit within the time limit, because, you know, when you do randomizers, it can be anything. But thanks, everyone, for the GGs. Again, I don't think I can actually get back to the title screen. There's some fun options and stuff you can do, too. If you're one of those people, you can do CRT mode. Sprint and stuff like that. But there is a whole chapter 1. The length of the game feels a lot like it does for chapter 2. Chapter 2 is usually a little bit faster, actually, when you're really bolting on it. We've had some people doing speedruns. We've had some races. I believe Zatrex there himself has been trying to organize races Friday nights, and that's been pretty fun when we've been able to do that. So again, this is a Steam game. It's still in early access. It's just come out, and it's about $5 on Steam. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, you know, consider looking it up. This is not an advertisement. I'm not paid. It's just a fun showcase. So if everyone on, that's really about all I got. So if again, thanks Retrothon, thank you for hosting me, letting me do stuff like this. It's great. You guys are exceptional and just so flexible when it comes to scheduling and all these other things. So yeah, and this is the thing, you know, Silly Dabbit mentioned this. I don't actually understand why more games don't put in randomizer elements. I think it's something that, you know, we have, I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but we have they remake games. They come out, like you have an Oblivion remaster. That's great. Couldn't they just put like a randomizer in that? Wouldn't that be like such a huge thing? Like, if you're gonna remaster a game and it can be randomized, randomize it. So coming in, you know, with a newer game that's coming out and there's a randomizer, that alone is a selling point. Maybe we'll see that eventually, and not just you know, independent devs doing it, but because there's very few ways that you can maximize your replay value for a game other than letting people randomize it. So there you go. All right, again, thanks everybody on RGLtv side. Again, thank you guys for watching. This is it for me. This is something like my 100th run in Retrothon now. I don't know. I've been doing so many over the course of these years, and it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be able to do it. So I believe next we have Super Mario 64. What a lead-in to maybe the most popular speed game of all time. Thanks, everybody.